guys felt was different. Now, indirect and direct, those are a part of your vocabulary words. But the question is, what is different about them? So let's see, Kennedy, what did you say? The only person who should be talking is Kennedy. Yes.
I said indirect learning is playing with a specific goal in mind. Indirect learning is on the spectrum.
Yes. So that is how they differ. Okay. So the three questions are explicitly in several paragraphs, starting on page 345. All right, so I'm going to call on a number to give me question 1. Deja?
First question would be, is the information worth knowing?
Yes. Did everybody find that one?
Yep.
Okay. So whatever you're going to teach, is it worth knowing? All right, number 2. I grabbed the number, I don't have a student with that number. 31, Tanya.
Is the information testable?
Yes. So is it testable? Remember our SMART goal, is it specific, measurable, same kind of thing. Testable means measurable. Are we able to see if they know it? Student number 35, I don't have, sorry. Student 11, Ruby. What's the third one?
Is the information?
What was it, sorry?
Is the information developmentally appropriate?
Is the information developmentally appropriate? Which developmentally appropriate is what? Part of our word wall words. So you're going to see those repeated throughout your time in education. Okay, I need some help passing out the next thing. Group A are my helpers for passing out, so, hold on. Olivia, can you pass that one out? And then, Deja, can you pass this one out to everybody?
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
I appreciate your
Pastor
nice.
Cross?
No, there she is. And you're like totally kind of talking.
Oh, wow. Would you like somebody to stay with you?
Positive.
If somebody
Sometimes they won't do it intentionally. So it's okay to correct them. You gotta talk about that? All right. Okay, so you have some other note pages that kind of go along with the guided notes that we finished yesterday with the PowerPoint. These are for a resource, for you. We'll need these here in a minute, the lesson plan books. To help you when you're making your theme unit, so that you remember all the details that you have to include in lesson plan. Okay. Okay, so one is a note page that says assessing curriculum, and I kind of added, the first one says that you have to, the lesson plan has to promote all developmental areas, which is our word wall words, physical, social, emotional, and cognitive. The CDA says that we have to label things that are creative for the kids, creativity. So each lesson plan you create for this class has to be labeled with the developmental areas that apply and explain how it applies, okay? Which we practiced that yesterday. We're gonna practice it some more. The other one is a list of conditions. It's breaking down a learning objective. Okay, so our guided notes kind of discuss that. Does everybody have that one? It says learning objectives. Okay, so the condition of the performance is given a three-piece puzzle. So if we break a learning objective statement down into its parts, that's the condition of performance that the child will do is the teacher and the child, the teacher will provide three-piece puzzles. The behavior will be the child will complete the puzzle. And the level is within a 5-minute period. Do you remember those learning objectives that we looked at yesterday? Okay. So the same with, the child will draw a 4-inch line if given crayons. So it's kind of breaking the learning objective sentence into the 3 components of a learning objective. Okay? So this is also to help you kind of understand that process. So these are notes for you to keep. Okay, the other one is Chapter 18, Activity A, and we are going to start with a web. I need to make this larger. All right, you have dogs. I did recalibrate it this morning. That was the first thing I did. But I have to again. All right, let me try that really quickly. But yes, I did do that. Because you go to.
You know you just got pushed into.
There it is.
All you gotta do is press those 2 buttons at the bottom. You have to bring it.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
I only know the clicking on the computer, so I did do this, I promise. But I'll do it again.
Have you ever tried using a marker when you do that?
You can, but you just tap it. Does it matter?
I just thought you could
So bad.
I just use, I don't know. I guess I am. Let's see if that, okay, yeah. Now we're in business. Okay. All right. So, does anybody know how you can get that to go away? Wood. Does anybody know how to move
You want to
that?
hide the sideboard, push the 2 arrows right there.
This one?
No, you just added another one.
No, push the 2 arrows right there.
That right there, the black one.
But first go back to your dog page.
Okay,
Let's move it.
got it. That's better, thank you. I knew there was one button, but I just couldn't remember which one. All right, so dogs. You need math first? If you would have math?
This class makes me morning.
Okay.
That's the time of my day.
Make you laugh, huh?
Yeah, we never thought we could do this friendly. I know, okay.
All right.
Why did we start here?
Okay. So now we have to do a web like we did with hats. So let's think, remember the material breakdown of hats? So like dogs, what types of dogs are there?
Big dogs, chihuahuas, pit bulls.
I like the word big because what words are young kids gonna understand?
Big.
Right, but they can
Brown.
they can understand small, right?
Small, big, medium.
Medium,
Mean.
Loud, quiet.
large,
Ugly,
right?
pretty.
They can, okay, so we have types as far as like size, right? Now, you're supposed to be writing this down. So we have types and size, right? And then we're gonna have types and colors. As well. So I heard brown, white,
No, because dogs are all colors. Let's go
some are spots, yep, so brown, white, black, spots.
Really dyed it.
And
Mean, tan.
Mean.
You said mean?
Yes, mean.
Okay, so we can have,
Mean and nice. Personality.
mean and nice, or how about trained?
They don't know that.
I don't
know
do it.
Mean or nice, you think?
They still call the dog. Because they will, the dog like, is this a nice dog or? They'll touch it anyway.
Nice dog. Pet the dog.
That's a good thing to teach, kids, so that would be, let's do the opposite, that would be, pet care, right? So you do want to teach kids, to never touch a dog they don't know, right? Always have an dog or an animal you don't know. That's good.
It ain't a lot.
Running up the tree.
So we've come up with some things. Let's see what the lesson plan books have for this idea. So, there should be 2 per group table. And the theme of dogs is on page 221.
It's on page what?
221. So let's see if, see some of the things that they thought of. You guys can you share with Ruby? Body parts. Body parts. So 221, this lesson plan book does start out with a web. The other one we looked at for hats did not start out with webbing. So what are some of the things that we didn't think of?
Yeah, it says homes right there.
What does it say? I couldn't hear.
Homes.
Homes. Okay, so dogs have a home, right?
Dog houses, kennels, or a house.
Yeah. Homes. So we have,
Food.
so make sure you're writing this down. Homes, we have dog houses, kennels. What was the other one?
Food. Food. It was just plain house.
Okay, this house, okay. They eat. Let's do food.
Water.
It says it under food.
I don't know either.
Where are you gonna find out?
I do.
So we have
It
dog
says
food,
scraps.
water, all like table scraps?
Scraps.
Yes. Well, they're like scraps they put outside.
Put them
A
pot.
lot of animals will. If it smells like food, they'll try to eat it.
Body parts.
They have body parts.
They have a tail.
Okay, so tail. Brianna, what do you see? Do they have
What?
tails, body parts, what else? Dogs.
They have a wet nose. They have wet noses and eyes.
Big
Okay.
ears, they have big ears.
Wet nose, beard. Okay.
Safety.
Safety. So maybe that should go, instead of pet care, it should be safety.
So under safety it says, diseases, rabies, wild dogs. and
Hold on. Sidebar, I'm trying to hear, Tara, yes.
It says diseases, rabies, wild dogs, and strange dogs.
Okay, strange dogs. And diseases. Right, because even though, I mean, there are some laws in place, but not every, dog owner, like, gets their dog shots and all that stuff like they're supposed to. And so, you do want to, because kids tend to generalize, so if they have a dog at home, or they know somebody who has a dog and that dog is friendly, then they think all dogs are nice and friendly. So you do want to make sure that you do talk about that with them, like, you need to ask someone before you go touching their dog or their pet. Because the animals can fight. So we can put on their dogs fight. And even like family dogs, if they're getting sick, can kind of nip at kids that normally they don't. I mean, sometimes dogs get sick and they don't want to be bothered. So, yeah, so you just gotta teach, talk about that.
You notice when dogs get pregnant, they don't want to bother, like they'll snap at you.
Yeah, mom, they get very protective. Mhm. That's,
I'm a
The
dog.
women
part of their nature.
Bothered.
When they're pregnant, they don't
mom, parent, when you become a parent, you become
Yeah.
protective, yes. Very, very common, same with dogs, yeah. So,
Occupational uses.
occupational uses, that's a good one.
You can scroll down. Oh, wait, no, just kidding, you can't.
No, all right. You have it spelled in your, sorry.
Yeah, extend page, that's what it is.
Huh?
Extend
Down at the
page.
bottom, in the middle, extend
Oh,
page.
sorry.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
I'm like, what?
You being a student.
Always
Just
learning.
in your bed.
Right.
So this is my occupational uses, but it is, spelled for you, and so use that book. I know it's hard to see my small handwriting. So what are some, dogs that have jobs?
Policing,
The one that.
German shepherds.
So vision, what is your
I
called?
see. I
Seeing, eyesight.
They do.
Oh, you said they didn't know that, Miss Bernica.
You used to didn't know that.
All you know are teachers to car.
What's another, dog
Is
that,
that funny? It's not funny.
a job for dogs?
A fire dog, a firefighter dog.
So police or firefighter?
Or the cop dogs.
Right.
That's a police dog.
I thought you said
Firefighter dog.
She heard firefighter, shouldn't hear, yeah. Police or firefighter?
She said a fire dog. A firefighter dog.
What else? Do they have any other?
No, like fires and all that stuff.
It says hunting and.
Hunting, yeah.
Hunting and barking.
Farming.
Farming?
Oh, I said barking. Sorry, I didn't hear you.
There are some dogs, like if you live, I think further out west, not really our state, but if you have a lot of cattle, a lot of cows, there are, yeah,
Yeah.
sheep herding dogs, so there are dogs that are used to kind of keep, the cows, like, you have to stay over
Is that
here
what
or
this is
whatever.
in
Have you ever
ours?
seen a dog
I
herd a
don't
horse?
know if Saint, I don't know if that's a
Oh,
I
Saint.
know
yeah.
sheepdogs,
Yeah.
but I know Saint Bernards do
Yeah.
too. I know usually German Shepherds, which are so powerful, they are police dogs,
They're
and
usually,
the canines and all dogs and stuff. That's
Like
what they
the
do. Those are powerful dogs.
right, I do know, I have a friend who works at the, Seeing Eye Dog, but it's called, I forget, but it's in downtown Columbus. And she said sometimes the dogs, like, they train them, but then they're just not they're not trained well enough to actually be partnered up with a person, so then they adopt them out. So there are some who do not meet the, yes, is it pilot dogs? What's it called, pilot dogs?
Sometimes it's, I've seen them in with golden retrievers. I
Yeah.
didn't know those could do that.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they
different-
can, but some breeds are
They're really smart.
specialized.
Like,
in certain stuff.
I will let them.
Right.
You pass me
So
the
there are
dog,
some-
like, why? Like, that's how I be.
And some,
My aunt's dog is water out.
Like a bottle of water.
Bottled
oh,
water.
so we can open the
Yeah,
fridge.
in the fridge, get bottled water. he
That may
goes
not be a good
upstairs,
thing.
gets the
Is
shoes.
that all he gets is water? I'm just thinking like
Yeah,
my
he
dog
only
with
gets
the
water.
refrigerator, I don't know, that would be,
If they say,
He
go,
would have fun.
go get my shoes, like upstairs, he'll go upstairs, get the shoes, bring it
Wow.
back.
what
They're the
kind,
wrong
do you know
shoes.
what breed?
I forget.
You forget. But see how
Is
like,
he a big dog?
Yeah, it's a big dog.
it's a big dog. Now, our guided notes said that 4 and 5-year-olds like to talk about what? Do you remember? Animals. They like to talk about animals, and you guys do too. Like, all of you have come up with all
We're 4
these
and
stories.
5-year-olds.
No,
No, we're not.
I'm just saying that when you have a theme about animals, kids usually get really excited about it. And they have all these personal stories. So the first, we're gonna we're gonna talk about some of the activities on the other side. Is there anything we are missing, do you think, or we should add?
Supplies.
Supplies. Oh, that's right, dogs, they need lots of things. So what are some of the supplies we need?
Collars.
Okay, we need a collar,
Bones.
bowls,
Bones.
bones,
Leashes.
Brushes.
treats, brushes,
Okay.
Yes.
Toilet
Brush.
paper.
Dogs.
Brush. You need lots of cleaning towels, huh?
Do they have
Brushes, leashes. I was like, what word did I just forget?
They don't brush the toilet.
My grandma has this
Leashes.
little, like, she always had these little keypads where she would have.
Toys.
Like,
I was like, I
that
don't
dog
know.
might need all that. Take that dog outside.
Right, so dogs need toys, right? They need, is love on there? Do they need love?
Yeah, they need
That was.
Wall. Like, they need like a schedule, right?
They
We
really
all
do
need
though,
love.
and then they'll get like crazy.
Yes, we do. Love dog.
So dogs, need love,
You know, if you don't pay attention to your dog, they give you. Like my dog.
exercise. That's what I was thinking. Is exercise on there?
It's up there somewhere. Yeah, it's under care.
We didn't put care.
All right, so that's
care.
under care. So they need, just like, it's kind of like, if you think you're ready for, kind of, but not, I mean, like I can leave my dog at home alone, where I don't know that you can do that with all of your kids till they reach a certain developmental age, right? Huh?
You don't need JD.
He just turned 11, so, just little amounts of time, like I might, but not long, no.
He's probably
You turned 11, all we do is
Right.
Oh, I don't know, we're still planning it. So, well, it's his birthday's today, but.
But she's like, oh, it's
Oh.
Happy birthday,
So-
JD.
She said, I don't know about this, so where was he?
But the same, like dogs, you need to know what kind of dog you have, right? Because some dogs need to be walked a lot, like that's part of what they need for their care. Some are not, like my cousins have, an American Bulldog. So he's got like the big wrinkle, like
Well, they
chubby.
can't breathe.
Yes.
They slaughter a lot.
They
Yeah.
slaughter everything and can't breathe.
So I've watched him for them, because they're in the military, so sometimes they have to ship him here and he has to stay with us for a couple of months. And so, I used to be like, come on Brutus, let's walk. And he would take a couple steps and then sit, like, yeah, right. So he's not, you don't take him for a walk. Sometimes I get him to go outside and kind of play a little bit, like tug or whatever, but he's done after like 20 minutes. So if you don't really want a dog that walks or cares about that, then, the English Bulldog is, what you're looking for.
They're expensive.
Yes. Yes, they can be very expensive.
Why are dogs so expensive?
It just depends. It's a way to make money,
My
right?
dad would have
It depends. Depends on what kind you want. But you can go to, they're a little bit cheaper if you go to the Humane Society, right?
Where's that at?
The Humane Society, in Franklin County it moved, I think. Did they get a new location?
That was good.
It used to be on Allen Creek, but I don't know where it is now. I honestly don't know. So,
We don't care what you want to read.
if you like,
That's it.
but
Die.
caring for a dog can kind of prepare you for like the responsibility of parenting a little bit, right? Because you got, you have to think like, is this really for me? If not, you need to find that dog a new home. It's easier to find a new dog a home, right, than, right. So, I'm just saying,
That's sad.
it's a lot, right? Animals aren't dependent on us to take care of them, so you have to be responsible. All right, let's flip the page. We'll come back to objectives, right? 'Cause they want us to come up with 6 learning objectives, but before we can really write learning objectives, I think we need to think about activities in the academic learning activity areas that we can teach the kids. So that's on the second page, and I can switch. There we go. All right. So, art. Oops. I had my finger touching the board with the pen. Okay. Okay, so what does the lesson plan book say? Flip the page and see what their suggestion is for art. We might, as a class, agree or say we have a better idea. I don't know. Let's just see what the pre-planned curriculum book says for art. Dogs.
We're looking for art.
Yeah, we're doing the back page now.
Okay.
Oh, Paul. Make
Okay.
stamps out of erasers.
They should, I would say they should have a couple, right?
Stamps,
Oh, this
bone printing, bone painting,
Make it with the
dog
child's
collages. Oh my goodness.
So what do we think? Do we like their ideas, or did you have one that you don't see?
We can have 6 weeks of dog training.
6 weeks?
There's 6 different projects.
Wow.
You could. So a theme on dogs could go longer than a week probably, right? Because the kids would be excited, it could probably be a 2-week thing. Sometimes they are.
6.
Well, I would, dogs would lead to cat, because you're gonna have kids who have fish, and I have cats, and so you're gonna have a whole,
We've got
like,
kids that
kids.
look to everything. They're just like, I don't have pets.
There are some kids who cannot have pets.
I have a rock.
But, no, my nephew, he's allergic to cats and dogs, and he has fish. What else
I
does
thought
he
you were
have?
saying he had a pet
Hermit
rock.
crabs. I mean, so he's had some pets that
I
are.
have a crab.
Yeah, that hermit crab has lived for a long time. I know, he must really like us. Because he's outlived the number of hermit crab years, but he's still there. So, definitely, this theme would, the kids are gonna be excited, and you're gonna talk about tons of other animals off of this idea. Okay, so for art, we need to pick one of those to write. If you wanna write a different one than I write up on the board, I'm fine with that. So I heard paw prints, I heard bone, what was it, bone
Bone
printing?
printing, yeah, bone painting.
Oh, painting with the dog bone?
There's both of them.
All right,
there's
so I'm gonna write
painting.
bone printing
Shapes it and paint it on, design it.
or stamping and painting using a dog bone.
What about dog masks?
Dog mask, the reason why I like this one is because it's open-ended, right? There's no product, where a dog mask probably is supposed to look like a certain way when you're done with it. So this is more creative, that's why I like this one more. It's open-ended, the kids, they're gonna have to use fine motor, hand-eye coordination, to print or trace the bones or use the bone, to paint with. That's why I like that one. There's more, of the developmental goal areas that are reached with this. Not that with gluing a dog mask, there's not some fine motor there, but it's more of a product. Parents like it though. You know, they kind of like their kids to make those product craft looking things every once in a while. Oh, it's so cute, you know, and they take it to their office and hang it up and stuff. Put it on the refrigerator, right?
That's always fun.
We still have them.
All right, so story telling. I use the book, have you ever heard of Carl the Rottweiler? The books, no? If you go to the library in the picture book section, there's an author, something Alexander. I think I might have one Carl book in my collection. I can show you guys later. Clifford, okay. One thing, Clifford is a popular, he's personification, a cartoon character. Cute though, and he teaches manners. But what I like about Carl is the author of Carl, the Carl books, she created it because in the late 90s, Rottweilers and Pit Bulls were kind of, considered mean, and people would overly abuse them because, there was just all this bad press about them. And she had a dog named Carl who was a Rottweiler, and he was trained very lovingly and, didn't do any of those things that a lot of people stereotyped Rottweilers as. So she wrote a whole series like Carl at Christmas and Carl this. And so it shows Carl guarding his house from the neighbors and then taking walks. So it kind of shows him as a good, nice dog. So I kind of I like that series because it's a real dog and like a real family. So you should look it up. There's Carl's Christmas, Carl, I don't know, I forget some of the ones. There's all these adventures that he went through with his family. What about the one that was a movie a couple years ago? Marley and Me? Remember that movie where Marley has books too.
Who's Marley?
Marley is a golden retriever.
Is that the dude that always waited for the man when he came home?
No, that's that one when that man had died and the dog still came to the town and waited.
That one is like a Japanese name, I think.
And Marley and Me.
Something
Yes.
Yeah.
Marley and Me was
Yeah. Is it Haichu or?
Yeah.
I'm probably saying it wrong. But yeah, so any of those books you could use here with the kids. I mean, Clifford,
Gloria.
that's about a dog too. So you're Gloria, you're Miss Teacher Gloria, and then you found a book about Gloria the dog. So what are the books that they list?
Gloria and I'm Gloria.
What do they list? Let's see.
It'll be in like all different languages. You don't even know what to say.
How many different books do they list?
I don't know what to say.
So, how many books, it looks like, how many different books do they list? that they list. This is a bulletin board idea.
Hush puppies. Yesterday I love flew into my hand and
One new puppy. Okay.
Hush puppies.
So, what book? Do you guys have a certain book in mind, or you think you should just have several different books available?
I'm several because if they were to change it up, they don't like to continue
Right.
unless it's routine.
So, there are lots of dog books.
Are we just gonna put lots of dog books?
Well, I'm gonna give a little bit. We're gonna give a little bit of detail, because you have to give detail, like Clifford, Carl,
Carl the big red dog and Blue's
we talked about Marley,
Blues Clues.
all right, Blue's Clues. Okay, so in addition to some of these like books, what other kind of books should we have?
cat books.
Not cat books, but I'm thinking like nonfiction. So like reference books, right? So like books that has pictures of different, like, have you ever went to the library and it says like dog breeds and then it's like an encyclopedia of dogs, right? You should have some of those. So we need, those are called nonfiction.
Obviously they did, because I had like thousands of them.
Okay, so then if you have a kid who says, well, my mom says my dog is a Yorkshire Terrier. Well, some of the other kids are gonna be like, well, what is that? Well, is it small, medium, or large? It's small. But then if you have the encyclopedia nonfiction dog book, you can actually look it up or use online sources and they can show pictures if they don't have one to bring in from home. Yorkshire Terriers, actually, I think there's a picture of one in your lesson plan. I think that's what they show you. Let me look again. Yep, that's a Yorkshire Terrier on page 225. Now they have teacup ones, which are Yorkshire Terriers. They're like they're called teacup, and so they actually fit in your cup. They stay small like that. Then you have ones that are a little bit bigger than that, but they're still small. So they're usually like purse carrying dogs, like Chihuahuas. They're small. Yep. So nonfiction dog books, and then use online sources too. Okay. What's next? Oh, sensory table. What does the lesson plan book say about sensory tables? What should we put in there?
Dog hair.
Not real.
Dog hair.
Yeah, I mean, dogs get haircuts. I mean, so you could possibly
That's
Why would you
disgusting.
put it in a
get
sensory
some.
table?
I don't know. I mean, you could let the kids wash it. I don't know.
Kids like to eat it. What if they got pipe and they eat the dog hair?
Well,
If you put dog hair.
2-year-olds will, if I'm 2 or under, I will put things in my mouth, so you have to be careful with that. But most kids, 3 and up,
It's pretty good, tastes it.
You gonna put dog treats, put fake Scooby snacks down like the grandma. Don't-
right, what does the book say?
There's nothing in
There's nothing, they don't have sensory tables. What?
There was no sensory table. It's finger play.
Look at science, maybe.
Dogs think dog hair is good than not.
You think so?
Well, dogs eat.
We do have science. I'm just seeing if they mention.
See, I'm not that.
Oh, they do. Let's read.
Magnifying glasses with dog hair, dog food, and bones.
That should, what you should put in the sensory table, right? Okay, so we're gonna say dog food,
Are you going to clean it up?
Be quiet.
I'm just saying.
and then I heard Tanya say, what tools should the kids use?
Magnifying glass.
Dog food, and,
When it
The
says dog
children.
bones, it means bones they eat, right?
yeah, that dog feed?
No, when dogs die, you take his bone out of his body.
Yeah, it means like treats, like the dog bone treats. Yeah, not,
No, I
Yeah.
keep thinking of like dead dogs and that's just really.
yeah, I don't know if you're allowed.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
Everything about Como
That's
on
nasty.
plastic bag possible. Okay.
If you go to, Slate Run Farm, they make bone meal. Have you ever been, it's historical,
Yeah, it's
1800s.
beautiful.
They actually, when animals die,
Wanna go there today?
when animals die on their property, they kind of dispose of them the way Native Americans would. And they have a pile of bones, and then when they get to a certain decayed time, they make bone meal out of them. It's kind of neat. The people who work there will let you, like, you can touch the bones, and they'll show you, like, all the different things they make out of them. I don't know, it's neat, but as far as in a classroom, I don't know that you're not gonna do that.
They eat animal bones?
No, they don't eat them, they make products out of them.
Oh, weird.
They just grind your bones to make their bread.
Right. Bone meal. Yes, that's right. Okay. So dog food, and then the children will use, I heard magnifying glasses?
Yeah.
We'll use magnifying glass. What else should they use, like, did it say what other tools?
A balance and a scale.
Balancing, okay, so they can weigh it. Balance and scales. And then, of course, they'll probably need like scoops to help with that.
Gloves.
Should we let them use something to like cut it, like if they wanna cut it in little pieces?
Mess.
Maybe.
Okay.
Chainsaw.
No, you can use something simple, like maybe even kid scissors could, crunch it up or whatever, so they can kinda see
Wow,
it.
that's nice.
Gloves, gloves.
Oh, and you want them to have gloves on? Okay.
Just in case the bone
Gloves
comes
and
out.
goggles.
If they cut, they gonna need gloves.
The little thing that you cover your face with after
Thinking of safety.
surgery.
All right, let's move on
Okay,
to,
see ya.
sorry, dramatic play. It's in the lesson plan book too. We took it from there. So what do you guys think for dramatic play? I have an idea that I always do, but what does the lesson plan book, do they have some
We
ideas?
can play pet store, veterinarians, office, pet show.
I always do pet.
Miss
Pet store.
I don't think so.
You
I got it.
Google, but it's
Oh.
really cute.
That's funny. Thinking of that online Google, huh? Goggles. All right. So I'm gonna abbreviate dramatic play for DP.
I put pet show.
So what would we need to do a pet store, pet show? So pet store, vet,
Sounds a little-
office.
I don't wanna see a dog where I can,
Could you have all of those choices?
Yeah.
Probably, right? In a pet show. Okay, so think of, what would we need?
You can have people leave the dog.
We would need
Like some stuffed animals.
stuffed animals. Yep.
And fake bracelets.
Just practice.
Build a bear.
It's like the.
Girl, you pay
it's that
24
stuff
apiece
that
for
off
the
there.
bears.
Yeah, so you need like
I
a
had
for
two little
kids,
I
still have
none.
Plates were expensive.
some pet taxi, cages
If
or
my daughter ever,
something.
or my son ever asked for a bear, I'm like, you better build your bear home. No, it depends on which one you get. Like, if you get the newest bears, they're like worth 30 and up, but it's not really the bear you get.
But they last
Clothes, glasses,
forever.
toys, and they last forever, because I have little bears from when I was 4. And
So
still
cash
I have
registers.
friends to be made, everything. I have a lot of
You have friends to be made.
I do. Yes.
I had like their whole house and everything.
Yes.
So
It's old.
they can let the kids go with the different ideas that they have with the, Stuffed pets. all right, music. What songs does the pre-planned book
Music.
suggest? What's the songs that they,
6 little dogs.
BINGO.
bingo, okay, so we can list that one.
And then it says 6 little dogs. It's to the tune of 6 little ducks. What's 6 little ducks?
6 little ducks went out to play. I
So I
far
thought Christmas
away.
Carol.
Mama Duck says. Do they give you the words in there?
Yeah, 6 little dogs. That I once knew.
No, okay.
That one's
Skinny ones, fair ones too, but the one little dog with the,
brown curly fur.
okay. I was gonna say spot on his back.
Very, 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 very.
Shut up.
But if those, if you don't know that version of the Six Little Ducks and you know a different one, you can just switch it. It's called piggybacking. Teachers do it all the time. You take songs, change lyrics, whatever, let the kids throw in a word here and there, and it works. So the Six Little Dogs. And etc. So just something you can practice, like counting, finger play movements, whole body movements, etc. All right, I'm going to start on a new page. All right, so that was music. So, is there another science?
Yeah, it says, dog tags in different sizes, including some with squeakers.
Oh.
Sorry.
So dogs like tags and
No, the ones that you squeeze and they
collars,
squeeze.
like
Yes.
and different collars.
Yeah, different tags and colors,
Okay.
yeah, colors, different color sizes and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Hey, you're distracted.
You do.
Sorry.
So dog tags and collars. I think the sensory table one is so awesome that sometimes sensory and science, I mean, they are the same. So with the dog tags and collars, we would be the children, dog tags and collars. So the children
Shut up.
What?
can compare, right? And sort.
Quiet, please.
You guys see, the point of science is we're trying to compare and sort things. So that would be the purpose of having different types. I don't know if the pre-planned curriculum really explains it that way. All right, what do they say, what are math? How many maths do we have?
3,
3.
yeah,
How to find a dog biscuit?
classifying dog biscuits.
So, classifying dog biscuits, okay.
It says purchasing 3 sizes of dog biscuits using dog dishes. Have the children sort them according to size and type. And then it says weighing biscuits too.
Classifying dog biscuits and.
I was watching my stream, but it didn't shoot this Wednesday. Yeah, wow.
Okay.
In general.
The other thing is, because some families, we want to support our families, right? And some families can't afford dogs. So we need, in the math, we need to talk about cost, right? Because dogs are expensive. And the parents will appreciate you talking about that with the kids. Because I didn't want another dog, and it took like 2 years for my son to finally get me to pick another dog for us. Just because they're expensive, they take a lot of time, you know, it's a big decision. So, right, and,
That's the person who takes care of it.
and so it, you know, you don't want the kids get excited about animals, but, you know, we don't want them to get so upset about that they're never gonna be allowed to have a dog because of allergies or because of money. Because like some people say dogs get fed better than humans sometimes. I mean, and that's happens in life too, right? I mean, I go to the pet store and I'm like, what dog food do I buy? There's a kind for $100 a bag, I got $50, I mean, it's like, what do you do?
Gravy train.
So, you know, it's like crazy, but, so you gotta talk about the cost with the kids. All right, finger plays, do they have one listed separately? They do, okay. What do they have for that?
It's 5 little puppies, like 2 and 5 little pumpkins.
Okay, 5 little puppies,
And then
okay.
there's another 5 little puppies.
So there's 2 versions of 5 little puppies.
And it's 5 little puppies jumping on the bed.
Like 5 little.
Okay.
That's it.
Kids like the jumping on the bed.
There's frisky dolls.
I don't count the song Jumping on the Bed as a finger play because it's supposed to be like fine motor, but if you let the kids stand up to jump, like whenever I sing the jumping part, I'm always like, you can stand up and jump, the kids like it. So that's more gross motor,
There's
right?
another one.
They have another one?
It is, frisky doll house.
Frisky's Doghouse?
What the heck?
Huh,
That's it?
how did it go?
This is Frisky's Doghouse.
But it doesn't give us the words?
This is Frisky's bed.
Oh, this is Frisky's bed.
Here is Frisky's can of milk.
Here is Frisky's milk,
Can of milk.
can of milk.
Yeah, so that he can be fed.
So
Frisky has a collar
Frisky has a collar.
with his name upon it too.
Mm-hmm.
Take a stick and throw it.
Why would those stick
And
together?
he'll bring it back to you.
Oh, so that's like a poem. But I would,
I don't know dogs who drink milk.
right, I would change